trade review on Aveo. This is actually from 520. What I do is, I work a normal day job, so I can't sit and watch the market, at this point in time yet. So what I do is I keep a list of, what has pre-market volume. I really like to trade ORBs and, the opening plays. So I keep a list of stocks that have pre-market volume and, the gappers, and then I just go back and replay them when I get a chance. So what I'm looking at here, this is Aveo. It was a gapper from 520. There was good pre-market volume. It gapped up. If you look at the daily here, I think it gapped up to the 162 range. Now what I did is I got the daily chart up. I was looking at, I drew a couple of trend lines on here as points of resistance. So this is like the previous high at 217. So I know I'll have to be aware of that price point. And then right here, you can see, it was a good, a good line of resistance initially. A couple times here it tested, shot over here, flushed out, and then kind of maintained and never broke here. So, market's going to open in about 2 minutes here. So, yeah, that's what the daily's looking at here. So we're gapping up, looks like right around this range here. So if I switch and get into an intraday, I play these on a 1 minute chart. Let me just load the proper studies. All right, so here's what we're looking at, 162. So it gapped right up into my resistance line there. It kind of bounced around a little bit pre-market, came back up to my resistance line again, and then it looks like we're sitting kind of down a little bit now. So we'll kind of see what happens here. But what I'm looking at on these gappers, I kind of trade like a gap and go type strategy. So it's either, a quick ORB, a red to green, green to red. And this one here with the daily, if this wants to load up here. We got some room, so we'll see what it does. Get back to a 1 minute chart here. Should be about go time. Just opened here. And again, I play these on a 1 minute tick. Zoomed in quite a ways, so it's opening up at 150, jumps to 55 right away. Again, this is a resistance point for me. Big green candle, pretty good volume for this stock. I mean, that's big volume for this, especially for the first candle. So let's see what happens here. 156. Get some buy buttons in here. So we got high day at 158. Big green candle, a lot of volume. So like on this one, looking at a 10-cent stop, even at the very bottom of this candle, this whole candle is only 9 cents. So I can have 1,000 shares on this. I risk $100 per trade. That's kind of my comfort level here. So, low a day, even at this point is, between the high and the low, I'm looking at, 150 for the low. And that, that to me would be 1,000 shares. It's putting $100 on the table. So it looks like the candle is right up there. It's tying high day. I'm going to load this up here. I'm going to actually auto send that. Get rid of this. Volume's coming into that second candle pretty good still. Candling it up red. Sometimes on a 1 minute chart, these ones are quick enough to get on that second candle. Usually it's not till like the third or the fourth candle. A lot of people will play like a 3 minute chart or a 5 minute chart. So, I mean, you got to think about that. That's only one candle right here still on a 3 minute chart. So, and I will bounce between the 1, 3 and the 5 minute. and then, just kind of look for my opening that way. Usually I stay 1 minute right out of the gates though, because they're such quick, I scalp them really fast. Not a whole lot of volume coming into this one. It's not very encouraging. Usually what I like to see is, good open. And then if it pulls back a little bit, like the first 2 or 3 candles, I like to see, lower volume. Up there it was, missed it. Fuck. All right, so it broke. I'll dip back down right away, but it wicked through it. So now I'm in the trade. I should be in at 158. That actually worked out pretty good. I meant to buy right here, and it dipped back down, so I'm in, at a pretty good level. So my stop on this one, I'm going to keep it at low of day. I usually would go like a lot of 163 already. All right, 160, 164. And I don't get too greedy on these. I'll take profit real quick on these. Now I do this a little different now because I'm on right now. This would be an Ameritrade account. So I can't scale as much as I'd like to because the commissions add up so fast. There's almost 10 cents. Good volume. 172. I'll take some. So now I'm only 200 long. It's kind of sitting as a big. All right, next candle. A lot of volume there, so that's encouraging. And I don't like this one. I got a house trade, so I got some profit on the board. In a case like this, I move my stop. This big candle right here, this green one. It's hard to explain this on the fly, sorry guys, but this one right here, this is my stop. So I trail my stops. I'm sitting at 158, so got a house trade there. And fuck, might not go anymore. See, that's a big nasty looking candle. I got 200 shares left. See, I'd like to see some more volume shoot in. Usually these plays, you get a pretty good rip out of them, but penny away from stop. Check this out on the 3-minute ones. See, it's got a good clean. On the 3-minute, it looks clean yet. I mean, that's a big, huge wick, and now we're hanging down, so boom, stopped out. Fuck. Not a lot. Usually I would like a little bit more on those. So that's a quick ORB. I'm out. I have no more left. And what did I end up with there? Looks like about $70. Got $70 for the quick scalp on that. Let's see what it's doing here. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the 1-minute chart. I again stay on the quicker time frames just to see. This is not good. So I get the ORB play in the third candle as it breaks. I got a quick scalp. I got lucky. I pulled that basically at the top. I think I got, I don't know, right. I pulled the trigger there. I don't know if I got filled there anyway. These are nasty candles, nasty candles, nasty candles. So the ORB play, as far as my 1-minute time frame, it's dead. I mean, look at all this volume here. So that's, that volume bar is bigger than the open. So not looking good long. And you could look at it a couple different ways. Like, I mean, your ORB was right there on the 3-minute, but so, I mean, there's a chance for a 5-minute ORB. But you've got to get clear up to 172 now. All my supports out down in the 150 range. So, I mean, if I get up there, I'm gonna get a little bit extended. We'll see that we'll hang out. And guys, I'm really new to this, so I mean, these trade reviews, this is the first live one that I've done. So sorry if I'm kind of bumbling around. I don't really know the platform super well, so I just know that I'm sitting at like the 250 range in my P&L. So yeah, about $66, $70 in this trade. Obviously not ideal. I want a little more of a rip out of that. That's not, risk reward. I had $100 in the line. If I would have got stopped out right away, I only got 70 back. That is not going to equal profitable trade. So I don't know how I'm feeling about this one so far. Yes, I got some money, but it could. So this one might be done already. So this is a point of resistance that I drew on previously, as I pointed out on the daily there. I sliced through it, came back down. Now all my support, my 9 EMA, 20 EMA in VWAP is starting to curl over the top of this one. We're down to 153. I guess while I watch this, just kind of quick review on what I did then. So third candle here as I broke high a day, which was 159. So this third candle. Let's add let's do a text note here. Oh, let's not do that. Yeah, that's funny. This. Might remount. If that creeps up over, we might get a little momentum again. That's my ORB entry. I actually sold my biggest chunk right at the top, basically, right in this range. Jesus Christ, can't spell. And my lotto share, I was out basically as it broke this candle right here. It was basically almost at the ORB point, so almost where my entry was, but this was at 156. As this candle broke that 156, you know, I didn't want to lose anymore. So here we go, getting some momentum again. So I sold my chair there. And that's looking fairly positive. I might get back into this trade. Knock on wood, but I do not have a problem with over trading right now. So I don't really like to re-enter. Really, I just like ORBs. That's really the only thing I like to do. Sorry, you guys can see I'm not very familiar with these tools here. I hope that makes sense. All right, so here's what I'm seeing here. So we got the VWAP back under for support. Everything's under for support. I got big green volume bars coming in again. You know, we're getting up to a decent range here. Can't buy it here, though. This would be a chase. I mean, the reversal was down here. If I buy here, my stop's way the fuck down here. Can't do that. What I would look for on this, or what I would want to see is, you know, we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, 6 minutes of a green run, 6 candles in on a 1 minute chart. I want a little bit more of a pullback to a nice, you know, a nice support zone. This is resistance, so, you know, old resistance becomes new support. So, you know, ideally, if we shoot up into here, give it a little bit of time and let the moving averages, you know, and everything catch up, we might be in business. Apart from that, the previous high that this thing hit like a week ago or something like that was 217. So the next point of resistance is way up there. This might be a decent little pullback here. And what I do on these is sometimes the 1 minute, especially if you like to overtrade, 1 minute chart may be bad news. So like if you get in here and kind of take a peek and see what's going on, 3 minute tightens it up a little bit, 5 minute a little bit more. Like that. Big green candles supported with a lot of volume. Volume started to slow a little bit, but that's good. Next candle's a red one, lower volume. Another red one coming in, lower volume. Got to see if these areas, see if they hang on. Green. Kind of like this level too. This was the open, 159. This is at the open. It's kind of chilling there again. I got moving averages literally a penny under the open. I think this is a trade I'll actually take. Not a lot of volume here though. Sitting right at the opening range again. Still super tight stop. If I you know, if I'm looking for my support to hold, that's a good area. This here too is kind of, flattened out a little bit. Tested that area. I like this. I think I'm going to buy a position. So we're sitting at 159. I got support underneath. I'm going to buy a position at 159 here. Give myself, basically I could really only go. I'm going to go a 3-cent stop loss, 157. I feel like that would be an area that could hold. Yeah. 1,000 shares long. My fill was at 160. Put a quick note in here. Only downside to this is there's not a whole lot of range in here. If you look at it, I'm throwing the stock around. It's even from this candle up here, 172. I mean, these look like big jumps, but I'm just partial to the stock. This is the first stock I ever bought. I bought it on a swing based off some news. And it was when it had like 150% move. I made $250 in 13 minutes. So I just like the name. CF, this is not a good sign. I probably shouldn't have got back into this trade. Little bit of green, so it looked like it was going to make a little bit of a run. Then I got this big fucking ugly red candle. A lot of volume. And that's the big thing too, guys. Like your broker obviously makes a big difference because, I mean, if you look at this on my ORB, I made $70 on this trade. I had 3 execution. That's $30 with the 70. I only made $40. Getting back into it again. There we go. There's fucking another $10. So now I'm $40 in. Now, realistically, that's not a big deal because I'm looking to join ClickFund. So obviously the fees aren't going to be that big of a thing, but this is for the practice of the executions, not the. You do need to think about that stuff though. Realized, trading in Click, my realized P&L on this would have been almost $100 in my ORB trade. Just going to take a peek at it in a different time frame once. So even though I don't have a lot of volume right here coming in, I mean, it's still pushing up. I got support trailing. I'm sitting above my resistance point. I have no reasons to really sell this right now, so I'm just going to sit on it. Being a trade I'm not super comfortable with, though. I wish I wouldn't have went in so heavy. I should only went in with 500 shares. ORBs, I'm comfortable going in all the way. That's kind of my go-to, but you know, my play here is a pullback to support, but it wasn't the cleanest. Them are pretty big candles. Ideally, I'd want little itty bitty red candles compared to these green ones. Not a lot of volume in these candles. That's okay though, as long as this is a, you know, it's just kind of a mini little consolidation here. I mean, it's still rising in the right direction, but you see it's bouncing between 165 and 162. Not really going anywhere. Fix some notes quick. That's a good sign. So this one's starting to gain a little bit of momentum here. Probably kind of a boring video tick by tick, but it is what it is. See, it's riding that support line pretty nice though. Now that it's caught up, we'll see what happens. I really like that it consolidated here and sat above this resistance line I had drawn in there from the previous day. So like a lot of times for me, like on these ORBs and things like that, like, you know, your VWAP and your 9 EMA and your 20 EMA. ORBs outrun them significantly, so they don't make, at least not right away. They don't make a ton of difference until they get, a chance to catch up a little later on. So that's for more like your pullback to supports and your flags, things of that nature, at least for me. So 170, I was in at 160. There's a 10 cent gain on that. Back down to 68. I mean, really what I'm looking to do, 10 cent gain is not what I'm looking for. A stock like this, there's not a whole, from the low to the open, there's 22 cents. So, really, I'm throwing around a lot of shares in a stock that's going to make me pennies instead of dollars. Maybe not the best stock to be playing, but, it had the volume. It had the key things I look for. So, see what happens here. Ideally, I could probably get out of position. I'm not super comfortable with this, so I probably will take a 10-cent gain for at least half. But I'm wanting it to bust through this 172 and then start running. So at 170, I think I'm going to queue up a trade here. I'm going to get rid of. I'll take a $50 profit here on this. All right, so I sold. Probably shouldn't have put that so high. It's kind of in the way. Delete that. Oh, fuck. At least I got some profit, right? So all the way down to 166. $163. I'm going to trail my stop. So my stop was 57 before. This resistance line right here that I didn't like, or that I had in there. If it breaks that, I'm out. So this for me is still, 2-cent profit, which, the idea there is just I'm on the house's money now. I'm not going to turn this into a loser. That's a big, nasty fucking candle. I'm 500 long at this point still. And really, my reason for selling here, it was trending nicely. I had no reason to really sell on a 10-cent gain. I usually let it run at least 20. My comfort level with this trade is not very high. It was a trade I normally would not take. There's not a lot of, potential profit with me unless it gets up and breaks this 172, which, we're still a ways away from that. So I'm just not super comfortable with it. Big, nasty red candle. Breaks 162. I'm done with it. And that's my stop. All right, so at this point, done with this trade. All in all, it looks like, so just like a quick summary of it. Trade caught my attention. Pre-market volume gapped up, so it's like a gap and go on ORB. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for the ORB on it. Opening candle, It was 159 was the ORB level here, big green candle. Next tick, it got up to it, but did not break. I usually wait for the break. The volume was getting up there, but the only way I usually buy in on candle number 2 on the 1 minute chart is if this volume surges right away. So usually you'll see like the volume here, and then the second candle will rush right up through, and then I'll buy it, as I see that volume coming in. Third candle, I bought it on the break here. It shot up, got lucky, caught it at the top. I don't know the exact sell range. I pulled the trigger at 172. I probably need to get filled at 172 because it hit there and dipped immediately. So I sold 800 shares. So I had a lotto share. Next candle, this nasty red candle here. Still not selling my lotto share. That could be just a quick little pullback, even though it is a fairly big candle. Held on to my lotto share until I broke the low of this candle. So once it hit 158, I was out. My fill was 156. So that was the play I was looking for, and then I got taunted back into this with an uncomfortable pullback there. So I bought this as support was underneath. I caught it close to the top here. I sold half, sold 500. Couple big nasty candles there. I sold my last position as we hit this 162. That was a previous resistance mark I have. I just wanted to keep the profits. I didn't want this flipping negative on me and ended up into a losing trade. So all said and done, a couple different plays here. The ORB is what I was looking for. I bought on the pullback to support. Got all this for 500 shares, and then house trade with the other 500. So what I was looking at here, looks like that's $120 on this. On the combination of the 2 trades that I made on this one. So not an ideal stock to play, just because, again, total I'm looking from, $1.50 to $1.72. That's not a very wide range to make a lot of money. I usually want something a little more, volatile than that. But that's that. Good trade. Thanks.